Welcome to the season finale of Season 1 in the Road to Glory. We had low expectations heading into this first year with, of course, a half-star rated team in a league that is full of one-star rated teams and even the occasional 1.5-star rated team. And as of the halfway point in the season, we were languishing in the bottom half and towards the bottom half of the bottom half. And we thought, it's about where we belong. Then we went on a run. We've lost just one game in our last 14 in League 2. And as we head into the season finale today, if there are those of you watching that haven't seen the majority of the rest of the season, we find ourselves in 9th, which is the highest we've been all year. And we're only 5 points off the playoffs, with a game in hand on Leyton Orient and Crawley and Gillingham. We're not that far away. We do also play, even though they've played the same amount of games as us, Colchester today as well. We start with Barrow away from home, our former youth RTG side from a couple of years ago. They sit 20th. We then have Colchester in the second game, which could potentially make or break whether we do or do not stand a chance of reaching the playoffs this season. It wouldn't be a bottled promotion attempt should we not make it, but it might feel like a bottled promotion attempt should we not make it. And I'm wanting to ensure that we stay clear in the knowledge that this has been an exceptional first season, regardless of where we finish, and the future does look really bright with the players we have at the squad. However, having done well, regardless of what happens today, if we don't go up, we do have some higher rated players now that might see some interest in them in the summer. So we do need to make sure that we get either a promotion attempt done or we get lucky in the summer like we did in January when no one comes in for our players. I'm not going to waste any further time. We're going to jump into it. Barrow first, away from home. Then Colchester and Swindon, both at Patreon Park, with an opportunity of a League 2 playoff spot on the line. My former club potentially stand in my way. Neil Canavan with the captain's armband for them at the back. Jed Garner is the man up top in their 4-2-3-1 that kind of mirrors ours, really. We could cancel each other out, but the form we've been in, we have to be confident that we are a side that are capable, especially against a team like Barrow, who are where they are in the league. We have to believe that we are capable of getting this across the line and sealing a playoff spot. Oh, but it is going to have to be done the hard way because Barrow have just embarrassed me. Because I'm not going to be able to outmuscle anyone. But that's a lovely run by Austin, the fullback. And Evans is in the middle here. And he's spun well, Stanley Evans. I probably shouldn't have played the pass. Not that it matters because neither of them have been able to get it past Farman so far in this game. Forward there to Glover. Quickly to Evans. And looking for Morris. Now, Morris has had minimal goals this season, but he does have the pace to get away here. Oh, no! Isaac? He's probably one of the worst future stars I've ever had. Alan, Austin. I'm going to go back to Alan here. Evans has made himself available. Vaughan is through that gap. And Vaughan will take a good first touch and slot through Jensen. Glover, who this time does find the ball past the goalkeeper. That's one goal. We need one more. Short to Neil. That's a nice ball through the gap. And Schofield intercepts that really well. And then his pass is beyond terrible. Good save by Richardson down low to keep that out. Schofield there, very nearly, cost us the equalising parity that we worked so hard to try and get. Oh, that was a nut shot. Big switch by Warren, but Kennedy could cut this out if he bothered to try and jump for it. It's a lovely touch by Whitfield, and they're in again here, Barrow. And Richardson can't keep it out in first half stoppage time. It squirmed underneath him. And the Barrow man has just beaten the defender to the loose ball that looked like it was trickling out for a goal kick or a corner. Keeper does really well. It's all about the turn initially to set the chance up. And then he just gets there ahead of Schofield and squeezes it in from a narrow angle. Anyway, we'll do right now defensively. Looking for Glover through there, but the ball is not quite as powerful as it need be. Garner, Francis gets a toe to it, just knocks it to another Barrow man. Tucked into the middle and fired wide by Gott. Barrow looking to finish us off here. Austin. Out to Morris. Glover is there. Morris has gone again. Oh, I tell you what, I'm getting a bit sick of their interceptions. They are picking off everything that I put together trying to go forward in this second half. And I just can't get near the ball when trying to intercept it myself. And Gotts is in the box now. And that's a real let-off. He should have finished that. Kennedy off and Tommy Hogg is on. And I need Tommy to turn the game here. Hogg's done brilliantly. And Francis should keep that in. And does so. Ball delivered straight into the face of McClelland. We have a corner. Glover's turned nicely and then finds the ball for Evans. And he's pinged this, looking for Hogg. Now, Brough has tired here because all he's done all game is bomb forward. And I need a pass here to a teammate that's in a good position to maybe score a goal. But again, there's a Barrow man in the bloody way. Whether it's a pass or a shot, there is a blue and white shirt in the way of everything I do offensively in this second half. I don't know how they're doing it. Hogg needs to find Vaughan, who needs to find Glover, who can't. And that will be game. We're going to lose to Barrow. A bit of a wobble. Again, if we don't reach the playoffs, it's not a bottle because we've had a much better season than we were anticipating. But to start with a defeat today is really disappointing, especially given the quality of the chances that we created. And we need other teams to lose. Leyton Orient have just beaten Colchester there. Now, Orient were one of the sides we were hoping to catch. But having seen Colchester also lose, that means we can still catch them. I didn't see there what happened with Salford. So I'm not sure what the league table looks like as we now head into a game against Colchester, who will be low on confidence. But by responding the right way in these interviews, we're keeping confidence with our players as high as possible. Colchester are a side that are catchable in the league. We know if we beat them today, we have the opportunity on the final day to go above them if we then win and they lose on that day as well. If Colchester end the season with 3 straight defeats, then we can go above them. They're playing a 5 at the back, which is obviously going to be taxing to get round. We need to be as creative as we were in the last game, but more clinical. And hopefully our passing can be more successful in this one as well. I don't know whether we let ourselves down, actually, but certainly Barrow were exceptional at intercepting our forward passing and the opportunities we were trying to create. We need to be better and have a higher success rate with our passing today. Evans, an ever-willing runner. We use the left back here. It's a nice ball by Glover. His passing does let me down on occasion, but right there, it was exactly what I needed. Here's Evans looking for Glover. He's in the box. Oh, Jensen Glover. I tried to get him to shoot on his left. Tried to weirdly manoeuvre his body about to get it onto his favoured foot, and by doing so, kind of ruined the angle and power potential of that effort. And Kennedy around the corner. And the delivery is really good. Evans can't keep his shot down. Brilliantly picked out with the cross. Just got underneath it a little bit too much. Oh, I just haven't got the strength to outmuscle Wood there. Get to that scope. Oh my God, he left it. Jesus, that is either terrible or absolute genius from the fullback there. Sorry, from the centre-back. Kennedy getting forward down the wing now. Can he find another pinpoint cross to a teammate? I'm going to need it. Does have a 5-star weak foot as well. And, oh, Glover's touch lets him down, as does Allen's, but it's fallen free to a teammate. And Evans, oh my God, he's put it over the bar again! Hopper, I read that with Francis. Can we get that to Kennedy? We might do. From Evans, in fact. Oh, he's overrun it. Fucking shithouse. Jay is going to go into that channel. I'm going to try and come across here with Schofield to get in the way of it from Nadeson. Saved down low well by Richardson. I couldn't get an interception, but we have still kept the ball out the back of the net. Jack wins that well. Time is running out at the end of the half here, so we're going to have to do this relatively quickly. Glover's spun his man brilliantly, and Jensen Glover's in behind. The man that is the league's top goal scorer is going to miss the target, and you can tell that from the moment it left his boot. Little bit of pressure on the back of him from the defender at the final moment. It's made him mess up his technique, and we still haven't been able to find that goal to make the breakthrough. I love that. Oh, I tried to step in with Jack and couldn't get there. Oh, no. Big save by Richardson. Colchester's best opportunity of the game so far. They haven't been able to take it, so let off for us. They've not done much defensively all game, Colchester, but they really could have not only beaten us there, but also sealed their playoff position in the league table if they'd have taken the lead. Austin. Morris is there. Is Austin going to go again? He might. Also might not be needed. Glover. It is Austin. The fullback! Got so excited there. I had a little bit of a voice crack. We've not scored the goal yet, but you can hear the roar from the crowd urging their team on. Glover's won that header, but it's going to fall tamely into the hands of O'Hara, the goalkeeper, and it was going wide as well, I think. I'm going to make the same change we made last time that very nearly led to our opening goal. Well in, Allen. Oh, Jesus. Well in, Matt J. Responds immediately. Now Wood. Great first touch. Delivery's not bad, but Schofield should clear this. He hasn't gotten rid of it properly, but the keeper now will. Roll it quickly out to Morris. It's getting a little bit desperate here in the final few minutes. You can imagine the explosion from the crowd, should we be able to find the goal to win the game at this late stage. Austin is going to go for that run, and Morris will look for him and find him well. Evans and Vaughan. Through that gap is Kennedy. Kennedy! Straight at the keeper. I've tried to just play this ball to the man stood next to me, and it has gone through his foot as he's looked to play the pass. What more can a man do? Over the top, looking for the run of Evans. It's not going to fall for him. It's not going to fall for us. It's not going to fall for anyone in this fixture. It is going to be a 0-0 draw at Patreon Park. And with it, our playoff dreams die. We can't be too disappointed because it's still been a particularly successful season. Again, a creative game. Evans with a couple of very, very good opportunities. But sadly, we will not finish in a playoff position this season. It will be top half, but not quite good enough to get the ball over the line or ourselves up above Colchester or Leyton Orient at the end of the season here. We will go and play that final game because I don't want to end on the back of a defeat and a frustrating scoreless draw. I want to now go and beat Swindon, end on a high to prove to myself and you guys that we can, yes, continue to progress and get ourselves into League One come the end of next season. With it being the final game of the season and not having anything to play for, we are giving some fringe players some football here. So Thompson and Hogg and Connick and Castro all brought into the starting lineup here against Swindon. Charlie Austin for them isn't available because he's absolutely knackered, but they do still have the former Premier League player in Williams in their starting lineup. Swindon mid-table, so a side that if we were at full strength we'd expect to beat, but we would have expected to beat Barrow with a full strength side, so we can't really draw too many conclusions from the lineups that both sides have been putting out over the course of today's episode. All we can hope for is to end the season the right way in front of our own fans. Only just reached him, but reached him nonetheless. And here comes Hogg. Driving really nicely forward into the box here, Hogg. And I'll tuck that back to Kai, who on his left foot misses the target. Not going to get many better opportunities than 10 yards out with a big chunk of the goal to aim at. Kane into Hutton. Trying to get there but can't. Pulled back nicely. Kane, good save by Richardson. Bit unconvincing, but got it around the post. Oh, well intercepted by Austin. We read it well, but couldn't stop the ball from finding its intended target. That's a lovely ball. Shade's just got the extra pace to get to it with a diving header, whilst a commendable attempt doesn't really stand any chance of going into the back of the net. I was hoping to try and do the defender with a bit of dribbling there. Instead, we'll just pass the ball about, drill it into the middle. Holy moly, that's your driven cross, is it? All right, pal, cheers then. We need some better players. Nice interception by Jack. Can't out-muscle McEachran, though, to win it back. And Jeffka lays that in. And Shade with a really poor effort to end the half on a note that has seen Swansea? We're not playing teams the level of Swansea yet. One that's seen Swindon be the better team. Morris gets forward, which he is rather reluctant to do, but that's a great ball through for Evans, who's in on goal here. He's been a little bit poor on his left foot so far this season, but has a shot on target at least. Bryn makes the save. That's our best chance of the game so far. Schofield's up for this. That's our best chance of the game so far. We'll try and do exactly that again. Schofield wins the header for the second time. This time it does beat the keeper, but it's cleared away. And the man on the line, Hogg, trying to find Vaughan with the header and just misplacing it, unfortunately. And look at the run of Vaughan here in the middle, getting forward well. And Glover off the bench. Nice turn. Glover. That's what he does. Jensen Glover is the man of the season for us. I was going to have a player of the season vote. I really don't think it's necessary, do you? Winner of player of the season, undoubtedly, Jensen Glover. Slams that home into the back of the net, leading the way. Tomlinson with a great delivery. Schofield gets up well. We're going to need to get to the second ball too. Decent attempt by Kane, but that's well over the top of the bar. And he's nodded down very well to Hogg, who will look to get it back to Glover. Get that forward to Vaughan, who it's Morris, in fact, just beating the offside trap. There's the second. We will win on the final day. So we do get some positive satisfaction from the end of season episode. We're very, very pleased to take the victory. Unfortunately, it's just not quite enough, though. Khan, nicely intercepted by Castro. Schofield just gets to that. This is pinballing about a little bit at the end here, but we're going to do enough to get rid of it. And you never know, maybe add a third goal if I can find the right ball for Jensen Glover. Can you get him past the defender? Jensen's in behind here. He's under pressure, though. Most of the time he crumbles under that pressure. Not on this occasion. 89th minute. And we're going to ghost through. An advertising hoarding is what we're going to do. Top finish. Jensen Glover, again, player of the season without any shadow of doubt. Slam time into the back of the net. And we'll end with a result that is, yes, very good, but almost frustrating in the fact that we could have done that in the first two games today, and maybe we would have been in the playoffs come the end of the final game of the season, but not to worry. A nice milestone for Glover, as you can see top left. That's his 30th goal of this League Two season. Not quite beating Paul Mullins' record with Cambridge United a couple of years ago, but certainly a worthy effort. Jack will intercept that, and he'll be a big player for us next year if he's still here and we don't get any bids for him, which is what I'm slightly nervous of, but we'll end the season with a 3-0 win. We're going to have a full season roundup so you can see exactly what's happened throughout the leagues here with the English divisions. Have a little think about what we're going to do next season, and then, well, I'll go and record episode 1 of season 2, and that will come to you tomorrow. But let's go and fully round out this first season of what has been an encouraging RTG. So then a look at everything that happened for us individually this season as a club, and of course everything else around this save. We know that we finished, unfortunately, not quite where we might have liked in the league. We finished 9th in the end, 5 points away from the playoffs at the end of play for the season. 46 games played, and 18 of which ended in victory. So we're happy with that, to have gotten our goal difference back to positive, considering we were well away from that earlier in the season. If we can take the second half of the season and do that all year, then we'll certainly be on a promotion push next year. But I'm apprehensive about the summer window. I am nervous that something's going to happen with regards to some of our better players. Northampton win the league. Our local rivals, Mansfield, get promoted. So we will not be playing them next year. Bradford also go up too. Gillingham, Crawley, Lake Norient and Colchester will battle it out in the playoffs. A winner has already been found. We shall find out in due course who that is. And in the relegation fight, Harrogate, who were kind of cut off at the bottom of the table, we knew they were going down a long time ago, are joined by Wimbledon in the National League next year. We're on the game, of course. So Wimbledon relegated from League 1 to League 2 last year, and now relegated again this season. It's not great for Wimbledon, that, at all. Sutton survive. With regards to the playoffs, I can show you that Colchester did win the playoffs, so they will be in League 1 next year. The FA Cup this season was won by Arsenal by 3-1 over Newcastle. The Carabao Cup was won by Manchester City. Of course it was. They always win the Carabao Cup. And the Papa John's Trophy was won by Ipswich by 3-1 over Derby, who were the side that knocked us out of that competition. Real Madrid won the UEFA Super Cup. The Champions League was won by Juve over Atleti. The Europa League was won by Arsenal over Stade Rennais. We'll wait and see if that happens in real life, of course. And the Europa Conference League was won by Villarreal over Nice. Looking else around the other leagues that at present interest us. In the Premier League here in England, Manchester City win the title with a lowly 75 points tally. Leicester finished second, Arsenal and Chelsea, then Spurs and Wolves. Newcastle 7th, Liverpool 8th, Manchester United down in 10th. Relegated are Leeds United, Leeds United, Crystal Palace and Fulham. Leeds relegated on goal difference. They on 36 points and minus 24 goal difference, just behind my face cam. Crystal Palace on 30 points and Fulham on 26. In the Championship, Watford and Norwich return to the Premier League, and then one of Burnley, Sheffield United, Blackburn or Queen's Park Rangers will do the same. At the bottom end of the table, Swansea, Sunderland and Rotherham back down to League One. In League One, Ipswich win the league and Pompey go up on goal difference of just a single goal ahead of Barnsley, and goal difference ahead of Wickham as well. Wow, what a promotion fight that was. Plymouth and Charlton round out the playoff spots in that division. Oh, we will be playing Cambridge United next year in the league as they get relegated on 46 points. Burton Albion on 47, miss out by just 2 points. They'll come down as well. They'll be our most local side now, Burton Albion, I believe. Bolton Wanderers relegated and Port Vale also down again to League Two. So we'll be playing all four of those sides next year. Burton will be our local rivalry. So at least there is another local side to build a rivalry with of course, Mansfield having gotten promotion. PSG win the league by a single goal in France. In the Bundesliga, it's Leverkusen from Bayern Munich, Dortmund and Leipzig round out the top four. In Serie A, Napoli do see the league title win there by a single point over Juventus. AC Milan only 6th. And down in Spain, it's Atletico Madrid by 8 points from Real Madrid. Barcelona down in 3rd. So, have a look at the player stats. Your league's top goal scorer, the big man up top for us, Jensen Glover with 30 and 46. Got him to that milestone, of course, in that game against Swindon. No other players for us in the top few, I don't think. I don't expect. No, indeed, there wasn't. With regards to the assists, Glover got 15 as well. I don't know as we scored many more than 15 more goals, to be honest. So Glover is so integral to everything that we do in that striking role. Evans at Cam did get 9. He missed some games as well through injury, of course, but still played 42 of the 46. Vaughan with 8 assists as well. I wonder who they were assisting up top. Anybody else for us? Yes, Morris there with 6, although an uninspiring season for him. Richardson gets 11 clean sheets in 26 games, so certainly expect him with a full year to be challenging for the Golden Glove next season. Cunningham with 7 in 20, so between them, they would have gotten the Golden Glove if it was just one player that was trying to do that. So our team then, I do need to hire some more scouts. What I'm actually going to, might as well whilst I've noticed it, what I'm going to look to do, you guys have told me that 2-star scouts are available. I've tried to find some, I haven't been able to yet. That's going to be my in-between season look to do. I'm now just not getting anything from 1-stars to ensure that the series progresses at a relatively realistic rate. I'm going to look to get a 2-star as my 2 other scouts. Komar, for now, will continue on as my chief scout. And then when we move up to League 1, I will look to upgrade to a 3-star, maybe a 3-star, 4-star, or 4-star, 3-star. 3-star for judgment, basically. And maybe 4-star for experience. Chief Scout will go 3-star in League 1. And rather than kind of temper it as to where we're finishing in the Premier League before we go 5-star, we're just going to go 5-star, Premier League, 4-star, Championship, 3-star, League 1, and 2-star, League 2. So we can keep the progression up at a relatively realistic rate. So I'm only getting mid-40s back from 1-star scouts, which just aren't going to help the series progress now at the stage that we're at. But I still think we're hampering ourselves enough, so to speak, handicapping ourselves enough that it's still going to be a challenge, of course. So, with regards to the first team this season, Player of the Year, obviously, is Jensen Glover. Young Player of the Year is going to go to Ruben Richardson as well. And Goal of the Year will be that one against our local rivals Mansfield from Vaughan earlier in the season. The first time volley that was very well tucked into the top right corner. If I remember, I shall try and find that footage and edit it in here. If I don't, then I'm a rubbish editor. Richardson grew by 4 this year. Lewis Marshall up 5, which is good growth from him. Really pleased with that. Will is going to leave us, of course, as a Patreon player. Cisse up 3. Hartley up 3. Ambrose up 6 as a Patreon player as well. Will grew by 6 also. No, Will grew by 7, in fact. Cunningham up 2. Still a good backup, but obviously will be phased out now considering Marshall is growing nicely. We do still have another youth player in our youth squad that could come up and do a job. Francis down by 1 but rock solid this season. Austin up by 6 and amazing actually. So surprised that he grew as much as he did, but very, very good for us indeed. Jack has grown by 1. He's going to be starting alongside Schofield continually for the short term. But Schofield is definitely a weak link in my backline, despite being the highest rated centre-back I've got. Just not very good, unfortunately. Clark obviously declining at 33 now. Expect Schofield to do the same next year. Jacob Powell is growing a little bit, but he's 32, so he's not going to do much. Thompson at 56 rated has grown by 4, but don't know about him. Sharp is declining now by 3, so he's going to get moved on, or we'll just let him retire at the club, maybe even just release him, to be completely honest. Kennedy is up by 5 this year, so depending on whether he gets first team football next year, he should continue to grow to become a decent player for us in the club this season. I certainly hope he does. Morris is up by 4. I am expecting to lose him next season in the summer, but we'll wait and see what happens. Owen Kane out on loan is just rubbish. Gardner now declined and still rubbish. Vaughan is up 3. I'm very surprised to see growth like that, but delighted with it. He will start still in the midfield alongside Connor Allen, who's up by 5. And if he grows like that next year, then again, we'll have a very capable central midfielder on our hands who could grow to really do the business in League One to keep us up, you would like to think. At 33, I'm very surprised to see the growth from Stanley Evans. He did get as high as 66, but now he's on his way back down again, so it might not be too long before we see Evans phased out of that starting lineup. Evaristo Castro is up 12. Obviously, that includes a position change, but further growth since being moved to centre mid, and hope that he can continue to do a job when called upon. He may find himself in the starting lineup in the not too distant future, maybe starting at centre mid alongside Allen, with Vaughan moved forward to Cam, and then Evans phased down to the bench, and Castro will start alongside Allen perhaps, although defensively neither of them are any good, so I might like to find a CDM to play alongside them. George Goddard up by 4. He'll go out on loan again. Millie up by 6. He will be sold next season. Connor Payne up by 3, but obviously not going to play too much. Frederick Wade up by 2, not going to play too much. Connor Pearson up by 4, so 58 rated now at Cam. Probably another loan move for him. He might actually not be that bad at striker with... Oh no, sorry. It's free kick accuracy not finishing that's higher rated. Yeah, no, we'll just continue to loan him out then. Nesbitt at 56 is still going to be my backup. I think Pearson will stand a better chance going out on loan and growing rather than being stagnating on my bench. Nesbitt will continue to be that bench player, and Pearson may well be in a position to come into the starting squad or there or thereabouts next year. Well, towards the end of next year, maybe the season after. Daniel's up 7, a Patreon player, of course, who will look to sell. Tommy Hogg up 1. I don't really like him, but he has more of an impact than a number of other players, so he'll continue on for now to be a part of the squad, although we are going to look for wingers with our youth squads next season. Chris Keogh, holy moly, I'm just going to let you go right bloody now, pal. He's so bad. Frederick Park is up by 8, actually, this season, although that is with a position change. Hopefully he can continue to grow. I may loan him next year if the opportunity arises. Reese Fields up by 3, but at 30 he's not going to do much. Connick, depending on what I can do with my youth scouts, he will either be my continued backup striker or will go out on loan and someone else will come into the fray. Jensen Glover, because of his fantastic performances, has only dropped by 1 this year. I'm hoping he won't drop by much more next year because he's had such a good year this year. But at 34, he might well. So we really need to prioritise striker and winger, I think, with regards our youth scouts next season. Pushkas will go out on loan, of course. No, sorry, be sold next year. Wimpenny will also be sold, as he too is a Patreon player. And Gavin Young has grown by 5 out on loan. And hopefully we can get him to continue to grow with another loan spell next year as well. Kai certainly more advanced than Gavin at this stage of both of their careers. For those that weren't aware, the Patreon players are players that have been introduced as created players as per a certain VIP, one of the higher tiers on my Patreon. It's £18 a month, and those players or those people get the chance to have a player created in their likeness for any given save. Now moving forward, we're doing it for the Southampton save that's going to be starting on the second channel. May well have already started on the second channel by the time you see this. And for the entirety of the time that they're at that VIP tier, they are going to be involved in squads. And if you'd like to do so, then feel free to check the Patreon. There's a link for it in the description. Of course, by no means there's a necessity to do so. It's only if you would like to help financially support the stream and the content here on YouTube. Those players are created. They don't play for me. They play elsewhere in the save. And with a spreadsheet, I keep track of their progress. It's the first time I've done it. We're seeing if it works well. So far it has. And we'll keep track of those players as they progress through the save. The nature of the fact that they're with me and not just elsewhere is that, unfortunately, with created players, they stay wherever you initially put them. So those Patreon people have the opportunity to choose a club to stay at for the whole save. Alternatively, I put them as free agents. If I left them there, then they would stay as free agents for the whole save. So what I do is I sign them as free agents and then sell them on. And then that kind of negates the created players stay where they're put. And they can then have transfers further on and have a progressed career. Every created player, regardless of whether they're a Patreon player or not, has the potential to be special. So we start them in the early 60s and then they will have a full career from there throughout the course of a save. So I'll show the spreadsheet right at the very end and we'll have a full roundup there. So goal wise, obviously we were heavily reliant on Jensen Glover, both creatively as well, with 16 assists for the other players that scored goals. Vaughan with 8, Morris with 6, Evans with 6, Hogg 4, and then obviously a couple here and there throughout the rest of the squad. Creatively, as we say, heavily reliant on Glover again. Evans with 10, 9 of which came in the league. Vaughan with 8, all in the league, and then I think the majority were all in the league from there on down. So we need to get some more quality into the squad and some more goal scoring opportunities to be tucked away, but we were definitely better in the second half of the season than we were the first, so certainly we fully expect to be able to be better next year. But the transfer window is looking to be questionable as to who stays and who goes. Now, to update this with regards to the Patreon players, a number of them have now completed those loan to buys to move on, so they will be permanent players at those clubs next year, and I will update this at the very beginning of Season 2. So I'll show this again at the end of Episode 1 of Season 2, so those that are involved in the Patreon and those that are just curious can see what happens. But this is how I'm tracking it: their name, their position, their rating each season, and of course we'll keep track of their progression with regards to their personal development and their career prospects as they move or loan, etc., between teams. But everybody that has previously been loaned here will be moved on permanently in Season 2, and we'll update that throughout the course of the beginning of Season 2 as they do that. Right, lengthy obviously end to the season roundup here, but there was a lot to cover, and I think we can say we've covered it. With regards to youth squad, actually, I haven't quite covered it just yet. We have a number of players here. I have gutted it quite considerably from where we were. Jenkins gets the opportunity to survive that cull. Despite being 49 rated, he has good potential. So I'm going to try and grow him with loan spells, and he will be capable of being involved at championship level. And by the time we get to the championship, hopefully he will have reached that potential as well. Now you can see that Boyle is obviously first team quality, but only 15, so I can't use him yet. Everybody that is 16 or 17 will be called up at the beginning of next season and look to be loaned on. Unless, of course, they have the opportunity to be involved in the first team squad, which at the minute, unfortunately, I don't think anyone does. Although Maxwell certainly is not far away from being in the first team squad, but at the minute, Clark is good enough to be my backup centre-back. Right, that's everything covered. I'll see you in Season 2 tomorrow, shall I? Certainly do make sure you drop the video a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel with the notification bell ticked and you won't miss out on any more. More is coming though, and I'll see you then.